Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what I'm going to be growing in December. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be growing indoors and also outdoors during December. In order to do that, we're going to have to go through my seed book and what is this kerfuffle? Come on, show us. Oh cha, not these damn crickets again.
What is this mess?
Don't show us, close the book.
How have you let it get to this?
Okay. Okay, that is embarrassing. Alright guys, I promise you that by the time we do the seed sowing for January video, I will make sure that this is tidy and organised.
Lies.
My balcony garden is located in the UK, so everything today is UK based. First thing that I've sowed is broad beans. They'll do pretty well. I'm hoping for a very early harvest. I'm going to try them in 2 different spots in the garden just to see what works better. So last year I found that the broad beans that were closest to the front of the balcony, they had real issues with the wind because the leaves are slightly bigger. So I'm going to try again this year on a different set of arches and see how they get along. And then the second set of broad beans I'm going to sow along the trellis behind me, and I'm going to see if that is going to make a bit of a difference. In one of my previous videos I showed you how I sowed some garden peas. Now again I'm going to sow a second setting of garden peas. I find it easier to just sow the seeds where I want them to be. Every time I move the peas or try to transplant them, they go into shock. Off the back of that, I'm also going to be sowing some sweet peas. Now, with my balcony garden, the way that it works and its unique microclimate means I can take liberties. I don't have to follow what everyone else does on ground level, so I can start things a little bit earlier. Now, what I'm going to be doing with the sweet peas is I'm going to be growing them up the trellis by the balcony pond. So that way, going into spring, I'm going to have a burst of colour. I've got a couple of different varieties of radish. I absolutely love radish. They grow so quickly, you can have a harvest in about a month's time. Now, I don't like any forms of empty space in my containers, so wherever I can, I will throw in a couple of radish seeds and I eat the whole plant. So I'll eat the traditional veg, but I'll also eat the leaves as well. Something else I'm going to be growing that's completely out of season is chard. I'm only growing it just for its baby leaves. I'm going to be planting them in this container up here, and hopefully I'll be able to have some harvest by February next year. The other thing I'm going to be sowing is some lettuce. Now the lettuce that I have on the garden already has all self-seeded, but it is doing fantastic, and yet the plants that I've sown myself have just not done well at all. I'm going to re-sow some of the lettuce again and see what happens with that. Now I've also got some allium. I've never grown allium before from bulbs, so it'll be really interesting to see if I can make some really nice containers.
Here's the balcony pond from earlier on in the year. I plan on growing the allium in some of these containers around the pond to once again make it a focal point of the garden.
My goal for next year is to see if I can attract even more bees. Hopefully I'll have even more traces up here. I've also got these hollyhocks. Now my hollyhocks this year, they have not flowered at all, even though I started them last year. So I'm gonna once again try starting these hollyhocks this year with the hopes that they will flower next year.
I cut back these hollyhocks, and yet they're still producing new leaves, so I'm hoping that they will eventually flower next year.
I'm hoping I'll get an early flourish of flowers, and then with this second set, hopefully I'll have a flourish of flowers later on in the year. Doing exactly the same thing with some of my delphiniums as well. Something else I'm growing in December is coleus. Now I've already done a video showing you how to grow coleus from seed, but what I wanted to do this year is growing the coleus as indoor houseplants, and then when we get closer towards summer, I'm going to then move them outside.
This means through winter and spring, I'm going to have some brilliant houseplants, and it'll give me time to work out which ones have got the best colours. I can then pot those up and then put them out into containers on the garden.
Another plant that I'm going to be growing indoors in December is passion fruit. Now, this might sound completely ridiculous, but bear with me. I'm going to be growing passion fruits from seed and it's my hope that I can get them to a stage where they're going to be big enough to go out onto the cloud garden for summer and potentially be able to flower and fruit by August next year. It's a big task. You guys haven't yet met some of my big guns. I've introduced you to Tim, my passion fruit vine, but you have not met Beatrice. And actually, those of you who've been following me for a while, Beatrice is one of my original plants along with Simon and Chad. The three of them make up a holy trinity for me. So I can't wait to introduce you to her at the start of next year. Now, I've also got some mint here as well. I'm going to be sowing some mint seeds, but I'm going to be doing this indoors. In fact, I'm going to be starting a whole heap of different herbs indoors. So look out for that series. I'm going to show you how to grow all of your herbs indoors for your indoor herb gardens, but I'm also going to show you how to grow them vertically in your vertical towers as well. Not only will I show you how to grow your herbs from seeds, but I'm also going to show you some more herbs that you can take propagations from, just like my rosemary here. Now, I've already done a whole playlist on some herbs, so make sure you check that out as well. There's loads of cool tips for rescuing supermarket plants and also some water propagations as well. I also took the time to propagate some geraniums from the containers outside. Now's the perfect time to do it. These guys look really raggedy because they were ravaged by caterpillars, but you know what? I reckon that by the time we get to spring next year, these will be rooted, and then I can pop these into containers around about April, ready for summer. Now, it might seem really boring, but I'm actually going to be growing
some watercress. Yeah, yes, I know.
Now, it might seem really boring, but I'm going to be growing cress. Now, we've all had them when we were in school and had cress and cucumber sandwiches, but this is something that you can grow all year round and add it to your salads.
Watercress requires moist soil, so I'm going to be growing some in the balcony pond, but I'm also going to show you how to grow it indoors too.
And then the last thing that I'm going to be growing in December are microgreens. Now, I've got a whole separate video on the way showing you how to grow your own set of microgreens from start to finish. I'm doing mine with sunflower seeds, but you can also use broccoli, cabbage and most brassicas. So as I said, you can use a whole different range of seeds to make your microgreens. So I'm going to make that one full series as well for you guys to follow along with. Now, moving forward, what I'm going to be doing is at the start of each month, I'm going to make a what to grow video, and that will give you some time to go and get the seeds if you want to join along. And what I'll do is I'll do some YouTube short videos just showing you how to get those seeds started. But if it's something that I've grown last year, I'll do one full video showing you how to grow everything from start to finish. I'll also be making sure that there's a good balance between growing out into your containers, but also what you can grow indoors on your windowsills. Because I know that not everyone who watches has got outdoor space. As well as having the classics, I'm always going to try and make sure that I throw in a couple of different curveballs for you as well, just to keep things a bit interesting. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye! Here's another sunset for you. So far this winter has been so mild, it's crazy, but you know, it does produce these beautiful sunsets, so I'm not complaining. So I'm going to try again sowing some of my own seeds.
Oh,
that sounds rough.